Welcome to Cool Tunes for a Hot Planet, the podcast where music inspires action for social and climate justice.
Hi, and welcome to Cool Tunes for Hot Planet. I'm your host, Warren Senders, and this is Season 2, Episode 27. I hope that before you forget, just push those like and subscribe buttons so we can keep bringing you inspiring climate justice music all year round. This month, we're going to focus on the disparity between the obvious importance of food, farms, and farming to the lives of pretty much everyone in the world, and the struggles that farmers and farm workers face every day. But before getting to that, we'd like to start with a song reflecting the No King's Day that over 7 million Americans celebrated a couple of weeks ago. Here's a great new one from folk singer-songwriter Claudia Schmidt, a nod to the organization Indivisible that was so active in organizing No King's Day, and a paean to the word itself. Standing together in resistance, let's listen to Claudia singing Indivisible.
I woke up bright and early on the morning of the No King's March this past Saturday with this line in my head. Indivisible is such a beautiful word. And I thought, well, isn't that a great idea for a line in a song? And so I wrote this song. It's a song of thanks for Ezra Levin and Leah Greenberg for dreaming up this whole concept, this beautiful resistance that's growing and thriving. And for Francis Bellamy, the Baptist minister who included this word in his Pledge of Allegiance specifically because it was the end of the Civil War, such a fragile time for our country, as we are in another fragile time right now. So here's my song for all of this. And I'm going to sing a harmony part with the chorus so that you can join in with it and hopefully carry it on and add it to your local protests if you might. Indivisible. Indivisible is such a beautiful word, with the strength to change a life each time it's heard. A word of action, a word of power. Now it calls us here together in this crucial hour. Indivisible is a solemn vow to stand together in resistance then and now. Though hate is long with its familiar call, yet love is so much longer after all. And we sing indivisible, 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 indivisible. Indivisible, always ours to hold, always work to do to help it all unfold. It was never a given, but it was always a choice to bind the dreams of many in one voice, one beautiful voice. When we sing indivisible, 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 indivisible. Indivisible.
That was the great Claudia Schmidt with her new original, Indivisible. Now let's get into our theme of food, farming, and harvest. This next song, The Farmer's the Man Who Feeds Them All, is a late 19th century American folk song about the exploitation of farmers by all the middlemen involved in getting their food to hungry people, the bankers, the lawyers, the merchants. This modern rendition by Dennis Doherty is very connected to the song's early roots, both musically and visually. Have a listen.
When the farmer comes to town with his wagon broken down, the farmer is the man that feeds them all. If you only look and see, well, I think you will agree, the farmer is the man that feeds them all. The farmer is the man, the farmer is the man, lives on credit till the fall. Then they take him by the hand, and they lead him from the land, and the banker is the man who takes it all. Well, the lawyer hangs around, and the butcher cuts a pound, the farmer is the man who feeds them all. And the preacher and the cook, they go strolling down the brook, the farmer is the man that feeds them all. The farmer is the man, the farmer is the man, lives on credit till the fall. Then they take him by the hand, and they lead him from the land, and the banker is the man that takes it all. When the farmer he left town, and the place got broken down, the pigweed and the thistle, they was right, but the land in fallow lay, just waiting for the day when dreams and hands would bring it back to life. Now the banker says he's broke, and the merchant's up in smoke, and the farmer is the man that feeds them all. It would put them to the test if the farmer took a rest. The farmer is the man that feeds them all. Then the farmer he left town, and the place got broken down. The pigweed and the thistle, they was right, but the land in fallow lay, just waiting for the day when dreams and hands could bring it back to life. Now the banker says he's broke, and the merchant's up in smoke, and the farmer is the man that feeds them all. It would put them to the test if the farmer took a rest. The farmer is the man that feeds them all. The farmer is the man, the farmer is the man, lives on credit till the fall. His clothes are wearing thin, his condition it's a sin, but the farmer is the man that feeds them all. The farmer is the man that feeds them all. Yeah, the farmer is the man that feeds them all.
Hi, I'm Dennis Doherty, also known as Trip McCool. I live in North Carolina. In February of 1964, Bob Dylan went to Flat Rock, North Carolina, that's right near Asheville, because he wanted to meet a certain man who lived there. So he stops at this gas station and he asks the local guy, "Where's the Carl Sandburg place? You know, the poet." And the man thought on this for a while, and he says, Sandberg? You mean Sandberg the goat farmer? He says, no, I mean Sandberg the poet. He goes, I don't know about no poet, but there's Sandberg has a goat farm up the road about 2 miles. He wrote a book on Lincoln. If that's the guy, you take this road 2 miles, turn left over the little bridge, and you can't miss it if you're sober. So that's how Carl Sandburg and Bob Dylan came to meet each other. Carl Sandburg won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry and 1 for his book on Lincoln. But he also wrote this book, The American Songbag. This is an original 1927 first edition. I love this book. I decided I'd just learn a song at random from this book. So I opened it up, and up came this song on page 282, The Farmer. I learned that song and recorded it as The Farmer is the Man. I heard it say that if you pick up this book and just sing the songs from it, you can be a folk singer too. Not a bad idea.
Thank you, Dennis Doherty. Farming, and the way it's done, of course, affects climate change greatly, much of the time in ways some of us have never considered. Next is going to be the first of 2 short clips from my recent interview with Michael Grunwald, author of the fascinating bestseller, We Are Eating the Earth. In this book, he shows how the global food system is the second major driver of climate change after fossil fuels, and he opens up the discussion about how to change our ways of farming and eating. From a long timescale perspective, agriculture is relatively fresh sunlight and fossil fuels are relatively old sunlight. We're burning the earth and we're eating the earth. And the eating part of it so far has gone below the radar of a lot of climate activists. What has been the response from people involved in the climate struggle?
You know, you're right. And in fairness, I was one of those people, right? I'd written about climate issues for, probably 15 years before I stumbled into the food part. And what I always say is that this carbohydrate problem is a lot more interesting than the hydrocarbon problem, because at least with fossil fuels, again, very big, bad problem, but we kind of know what to do about it. We need to electrify the global economy and run it on zero emissions electricity. And we're actually starting slowly, not fast enough, not enough progress, but we're starting to do it, right? We're in the middle of this incredible clean energy revolution. While with food, when I started working on this, I felt like not only didn't we have the answers, we didn't really even know the questions. And the problem was clearly getting worse every day. So the reaction has been mixed. I think a lot of people, there's sort of, and I described these reactions in the book, where there's a kind of like, la, 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 I don't want to talk about it. And so my feeling is like, we vote on these issues 3 times a day. And some people are starting to care. Like I was just at Climate Week in New York, and there were hundreds of events devoted to food and agriculture. It is starting to trend, I think. Unfortunately, a lot of the solutions are not the kind of solutions that I'm more optimistic about in the book. But look, I have had a lot of nice feedback where people are like, wow, I never thought about this. Maybe I oughta.
We'll return to Michael later in the show, and remember to check out my full-length interview with him coming up in 2 weeks on our mid-month episode, Global Notes. Our next offering, Down on Penny's Farm, is another oldie, this time from the 1920s. It was part of the great anthology of American folk music compiled by Harry Smith, a treasure house of traditional music that served as one of the main focal points of the folk revival. I just want to say here, when I was in high school, I liked to think of myself as being kind of weird, a little off the beaten track, but it wasn't until I read John Swed's biography of Harry Smith, Cosmic Scholar, that I truly understood what being weird was about. Harry Smith was a genuinely weird person. This piece sings about sharecropping from the post-Civil War America into the early 20th century, where poor subsistence farmers rented land from the owners, whom they paid with money borrowed at enormous interest rates against the food they grew. This version of the song is done by the Bentley Boys, recorded in 1929. It probably served as the foundation for Pete Seeger's version, which meant that it gave rise to Bob Dylan's "I Ain't Gonna Work on Maggie's Farm No More."
Come you ladies and gentlemen, listen to the song. Sing it to you right, but you might think it's wrong. May make you mad, but I mean no harm. It's just about the renter's on Penny's farm. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. You move out on Penny's farm, plant a little crop of bagger and a little crop of corn. Come around to see you gonna plit and plot till you get yourself a mortgage on everything you got. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. Hadn't George Penny got a flattering mouth? Move you to the country in a little log house. Got no windows but the cracks in the wall. He'll work you all summer and rob you in the fall. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. You go in the field, you'll work all day, wave tonight, but you get no pay. Promise to meet a little bucket of lard. It's hard to be a runner on Penny's farm. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. Here George Penny, he'll come into town with a wagon load of peaches, not a one of them sound. Got to have his money or somebody's check. Pay him for a bushel and you don't get a peck. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. George Penny renters, they'll come into town with their hands in the pockets and their head hanging down. Go in the store and the merchant will say, your mortgage is due and I'm looking for my pay. It's the hard times in the country out on Penny's farm. Down in his pocket with a trembling hand, can't pay you all, but I'll pay you what I can. Then to the telephone, the merchant make a call. He'll put you on chain gang, don't pay it all. It's hard times in the country out on Penny's farm.
Our last musical presentation today is from Latina singer Lila Downs, who brings us Pastures of Plenty, her take on the importance and struggle of Hispanic farm workers in today's society. It borrows a little from Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land, but it has more in common with freedom songs than with Woody's celebratory anthem. Lila Downs.
It's a mighty long road that my poor hands have hoed. My poor feet have traveled a long, dusty road. At the edge of your cities you will see us, and then we come with the dust, and we're gone with the wind. Green valleys, I will work till I die, and this land I'll defend. with my life, it need be, for my pastures of plenty must always be free.
Now, let's wrap up today's show with another clip from my in-depth interview with Michael Grunwald about global farming practices and climate change. Will Rogers famously commented on Herbert Hoover, "It ain't what he don't know that bothers me, it's what he knows for sure that just ain't so." Can you offer a couple of examples of things that everybody knows for sure that just ain't so?
I bet a lot of your listeners have watched Kiss the Ground, Common Ground, Carbon Cowboys, or you've heard from the United Nations, the World Bank, most environmental groups, most philanthropic organizations. Everybody's pushing this kind of Michael Pollan idea that we can essentially reverse climate change through kinder and gentler and more regenerative farming that will take all that bad carbon that we've pumped up into the sky and repatriate it as good carbon in our soils. And it will be healthier for our soils, healthier for our bodies, and it will turn agriculture from a climate problem into a climate solution.
And that just ain't so.
It ain't so. It's almost entirely bogus. There are some good things about regenerative agriculture, and there are parts. I went to Brazil and wrote about some ranches where they're using regenerative practices because they're incredible for yields, and they have one cow for every acre at the edge of the Amazon, where some of their neighbors have one cow for every 10 acres. So they're using 1/10 as much of the Amazon to make the same amount of food. But this notion that the big crime of agriculture was taking these nice, bucolic, rustic Michael Pollan farms where the animals have names instead of numbers and the soil is treated with love, and that the real tragedy was intensifying those farms. And now you have these chemical drenched monocultures and these factory farms where the animals are treated badly and the people are treated badly and they dump a lot of poop into the river. You know, there really has been some environmental damage from industrial agriculture, and we have to be honest about that. But the real environmental tragedy was the initial transformation of nature into those nice Michael Pollan farms. That's when we lost the carbon. That's when we lost the biodiversity. And the fact is that when different, kinder and gentler forms of farming that make less food per acre, they need more acres to make the same amount of food. They eat more of the earth. They are part of the problem. And so, so if you love organic food and you go to the farmer's market and you think you're doing something great for the earth, that is probably the biggest myth that I explode in the book. Although there are some others too, but that's the one that I've gotten the most pushback about.
That's it for today. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks on November 15th to listen to my whole interview with Michael Grunwald. Meanwhile, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons on your screen so we can keep bringing you our deep dives into the music of social and climate justice. I'm Warren Senders. Thank you for listening. This time we're going to take you out with some of our own home video clips from the recent No King's Day to brighten your mood and recharge your batteries. See you next time.
This is my land, from California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I saw above me, there in the skyway, I saw above me, it is a night. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and